कर्मजं बुद्धियुक्ता हि
कर्मजं
कर्मजं
बुद्धियुक्तानि
युक्तानि
फलं
फलं
त्यक्त्वा निशिनः
फलं त्यक्त्वा मनीषिणां
जन्मबन्धविनिर्मुक्ता
जन्मबन्धविनिर्मुक्तां
पदं गच्छन्ति अनामयम्.
पदं गच्छन्ति अनामयम्.
Okay, who will read the translation? Anybody?
Yes, Haribol, I can read.
Please.
By thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of work in the material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond all misery by going back to Godhead. Purport: the liberated living entities belong to that place where there are no material miseries. The Bhagavatam says, Samashrita
I can
ye
read.
pada.
I can
Okay.
read. समाश्रिताये पदपल्लवप्लवम् महत्पदम्
समाश्रिताये
महत्पदं पुण्ययशो मुरारे भवाम्बुधिर्वत्सपदं परं पदं 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 यद्विपदां न तेषाम्. You want to read the translation?
Yes. For one who has accepted the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation and is famous as Mukunda, or the giver of Mukti, the ocean of the material world is like the water contained in a calf's footprint. Param Param, or the place where there are no material miseries, or Vaikuntha, is his goal, not the place where there is danger in every step of life. Owing to ignorance, one does not know that this material world is a miserable place where there are dangers at every step. Out of ignorance only, less intelligent persons try to adjust to the situation by fruited activities, thinking that the resultant action will make them happy. They do not know that no kind of material body anywhere within the universe can give life without miseries. The miseries of life, namely birth, death, old age, and diseases, are present everywhere within the material world. But one who understands his real constitutional position as the eternal servitor of the Lord and thus knows the position of the personality of Godhead engages himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Consequently, he becomes qualified to enter into vacant planets where there is neither material, miserable life nor the influence of time and death. To know one's constitutional position means to know also the sublime position of the Lord. One who wrongly thinks that the living entity's position and the Lord's position are on the same level is to be understood to be in darkness and therefore unable to engage himself in the devotional service of the Lord. He becomes a Lord himself and thus paves the way for the repetition of birth and death. But one who, understanding that his position is to serve, transfers himself to the service of the Lord at once become eligible for Vaikuntha Loka. Service for the cause of the Lord is called Karma Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, or in plain words, devotional service to the Lord. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you for reading. Okay, so we are in this section where Krishna is talking to Arjun about going from material realm to transcendental realm. And in this particular shloka, Krishna is mentioning engaging in devotional service to the Lord is the method by which great sages or devotees free themselves from the results. So, karma bandhan, and they get free from this karma bandhan. Um, in the previous several shlokas, Krishna was encouraging Arjun to work as what he is prescribed, or he has to do his duty but he has to do it in a nishkam karma yoga, where there is no desire for fruitive activities. And he is elevating Arjun from Sakam Karma Yoga to Nishkam, and then he's mentioning that how this is going to help him get free from the cycle of birth and death. Basically, from Nishkam, he's actually taking him further advanced to devotional service. So, in the previous several shlokas, we were discussing this repeatedly, how Krishna is inspiring, encouraging, and explaining to Arjun, and through him explaining to all of us. In this particular shloka, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada shares one shloka from the Bhagavatam. This shloka we just read, Samashritaye padapallava plavam mahat padam punya yasho murare bhavambudhir vatsa padam param padam 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 yad vipadam natesham. So he's saying that to cross this material world is very difficult actually. If you see, this material world is very, very challenging. Whenever we see our life of people, see people around us, they are undergoing so many problems, so many sufferings. And there is some pleasure also in between, pleasure and suffering. But one can actually be in a place where there is no suffering. That is called as Vaikuntha. Kuntha means suffering. Vaikuntha means no suffering. So no material miseries, no misery is there. So one can be there. So the translation of this particular shloka goes like this: for one who has accepted the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is shelter of the cosmic manifestation and is famous as Mukunda or giver of Mukti, the ocean of material world is like the water contained the calf's footprint. So if somebody has to cross an ocean, let's say Atlantic Ocean or a Pacific Ocean, they can't really cross that just by mere swimming, right? If you know swimming, okay, great, but you can't cross the ocean. So for crossing the ocean, you need something which is able to handle such a big journey, like a huge big ship. So with the ship you can go, or by a airplane you can go, you can fly across. Similarly, this particular shloka is talking about how this material world is a very, very powerful, huge, big, deep ocean. And we cannot cross this ocean just by swimming or just by holding on to, an example is given, a dog sometimes can swim, but you can't hold the tail of the dog to cross a river or an ocean, huge ocean. What to say of the ocean of the material world, which is much bigger, deeper than any other ocean. So, how to cross this and go outside of the material cycle of birth and death and go to the spiritual world? How to get mukti? How to get liberation? How to come out of all of this? So, for that, what you have to do? You have to understand what is the method. The method is who takes shelter of the cosmic manifestation of the Lord, who has accepted the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord. So when we take shelter of Krishna or Mukunda, Mukunda means giver of liberation. If we take shelter of that person, the lotus feet, lotus is Padam. So if we take the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, then we can come out of the cycle of birth and death. And currently, we are in a material world where there is danger at every step. Padam padam yad vipadam na tesham. So there is danger at every step. Anything we are doing, it's dangerous. Just walking outside in the road, one can see dangers, how accidents can happen. These days, a lot of concerns are happening with the with flying. There are obviously concerns with different countries fighting with each other. Any day, any country can go mad and throw nuclear bombs. So terrorism, another challenge. 9/11, when it happened, people were thinking it's just an ordinary day, nothing is going to happen. And suddenly, from nowhere, huge plane is crashing into the World Trade Center. Not just one, both. Two planes crashed and both the towers uh, got destroyed. So there's danger at every step. So many terrorism, war, earthquake. Earthquake doesn't come mm, with a warning. Other things you can still sense, you can get an estimate. But earthquake, no, can come anytime. Very short notice, if at all. Not even that. Hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, um, so many situations, so many ways situations can go wrong. Cyber crime, people are getting attacked. So there are innumerable reasons. Of course, heart attack, some health problem, anything can happen. So there is danger at every step in this life. But if we have taken shelter of Krishna, of Mukunda, then we don't have to worry. Then we are already just like a small child. uh, a small child, maybe 3 years, 4 years, 5 years old. Till the time the child is with the parents, very relaxed, very. But if the child is not with the parents, let's say somebody gets lost, then it's a big problem. The child is also in anxious anxiety, and we also know that it can be problematic, because we see so many instances where things can go wrong. So like this, we are none other than part and parcel of the Lord. We are actually, Krishna says, Aham Bija Pradapita. So we know Krishna is our Supreme Father. So when we take shelter of Krishna, then we are actually protected. We are actually very much at peace. Just like a child will be very peaceful with the parents. He'll be free. He'll not be worried and not be anxious um, about his safety. So here in the next paragraph, Prabhupada is saying that people in this world, in this material world, they may not realize that this is a miserable place. Even though there is danger at every step, but people think that's okay. We can adjust, we can go forward. Adjusting is a good thing in one sense. But at the same time, if our destination is not clear, then we may adjust our way to the most dangerous situation. Like if a person wants to go from point A to point B and he boards the bus, he can adjust, okay, point A to point B, I'm going. We can adjust with the seat, which you can adjust, some things here and there. But actually, if the bus driver is drunk and the bus driver is driving in a way where he's going to lead everybody to a dangerous situation, an accident or something, then adjusting in that bus is not wise. First, one has to actually take care of the situation, have the driver stop and make arrangements so that a safe driver can drive. So this is a crude example, but that's what's happening. Our particular world where we are living is being driven full speed in the direction which is leading to spiritual death. Spiritual aspect is not taken into consideration, and society is portraying in such a way that spiritual life actually is not very important. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, reading these spiritual texts, they are not very important. So even those people who may have some inclination, they may have some faith that, oh, Bhagavad Gita, yes, it is body of wisdom, they have also not got a chance to read Bhagavad Gita. So why these sessions, we are actually making it accessible for people at the comfort of their home or their particular environment. They can join and they can have detailed discussions on these beautiful literatures which are given to us by Krishna and then explained so beautifully by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And he has described it in simple English language so that we can apply it in our daily life. It's not just a ritual that you have to open the Bhagavad Gita and just ritualistically read, but actually intelligently understand and practice in our life. That will make transformation of the heart and the transformation in the society where we are living. Because in this society you may come up with different laws, different ways. People are very interested in news, in politics, in different ways trying to make the society better. But until and unless the consciousness and the character of the people will not improve, no matter whatever laws you make, people will find one or the other ways to actually misuse them. No matter what kind of a gadgets you make, people will be using and misusing them. And therefore, it is very important to change and transform the character of the people. More and more people take to the science of Bhagavad Gita and then change their life, change their character from selfish to become selfless, become an instrument, constructive element in the society to help in improvement of the society and not make it worse. So this is very important for us to understand, read and apply in our life, and also teach it to the next generation. That way we can actually make difference. We all know and have heard that how the cycle of birth and death is making life um, difficult, in the sense that we have to go through these miseries: birth, disease, old age, death, natural calamities, or attacks from other living entities, or problems because of our own mind. All these miseries are actually attacking us. And we are so much so accustomed to thinking in this way that we don't even realize that there is a place where none of these exist, no misery. You may remember, many of you, that there was a song which had come, आचल के तुझे मैं लेके चलूं एक ऐसे गगन के तले, ना गम भी ना हो, आंसू भी ना हो, बस प्यार ही प्यार पले. So somebody went and asked the writer of the song, hey, which is that place? You told that there is a place. He said, writing the song was my duty, finding it is your duty. You figure out. But actually, Bhagavad Gita talks about this place which exists, where there is only pure spiritual love, no exploitation, no atrocities, no abuse, none of those, no miseries, only love and only happiness. Because everybody is looking for love and happiness, everybody. And when we connect to the Supreme Lord and we elevate our consciousness from material to spiritual, then we start experiencing this. We start experiencing the love. So Prabhupada is explaining this. Now, later part of the paragraph, Prabhupada also says, one who wrongly thinks that living entities' position and Lord's position are on the same level are to be considered in darkness. Now, this is an important line here, because transcendentalists or spiritualists, many times they are categorized in two categories. One is impersonalists and one is personalists. In the impersonalist category, there are also who are called as Mayavadis, who may understand that the supreme absolute truth is a power, is an energy, and every living entity is having the potential of becoming the merge with the impersonalist Brahman. So, like that, is able to be one with the Lord. So Prabhupada is mentioning here, no, Lord's position is different and living entities' position is different. They cannot be on the same level. So some people they misinterpret the teachings of the Vedas to prove that the living entity can become God. but that is not accepted by the acharyas. Many of the acharyas, and Srila Prabhupada, who's an acharya, is also mentioning that that is not to be misunderstood in this way. So one must be careful about it. So what is the best way? Best way is devotional service, engaging in the service of the Lord, and then one actually will be with the Lord in the abode of the Lord, which is Vaikuntha Loka. So Karma Yoga, Buddhi Yoga, or Bhakti Yoga, these are the yoga processes which one has to practice to elevate oneself and engage in the service of the Lord. Okay, so I will pause here. Anybody would like to ask any questions from this particular shloka? All right, we'll go to the next shloka then. Please repeat. Yada te moha kalilam, yada te moha kalilam, buddhir vyatitareshyate,
बुद्धिर्व्यतितरिष्यति
tada gantasi nirvedam,
Dada
गदागन्तासि निवेदं
shrotavyasya shrutasya cha.
Rota
भूतस्य सर्पितस्य च
Anybody who's available for reading the translation?
I can read.
Please.
When your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So Krishna is saying that with these series of shlokas, Krishna is saying that if you continue to advance, you will actually, and this is for all of us, that if we advance, then we become indifferent to other. Um, Here it is said, what has been heard and all that is to be heard. So we'll read the purport, then we'll have more discussion. So who would like to read the purport? Anybody available?
I can read.
Anji, please.
Purport. There are many good examples in the lives of the great devotees of the Lord, of those who became indifferent to the rituals of the Vedas simply by devotional service to the Lord. When a person factually understands Krishna and his relationship with Krishna, he naturally becomes completely indifferent to the rituals of fruitive activities. Even though an experienced Brahmana, Sri Madhavendra Puri, a great devotee and acharya in the line of devotees, says,
Okay, I can read this. सन्ध्यावन्दन भद्रमस्तु भवतो भो स्नानतुभ्यं नमो भो देवा पितरश्च तर्पणविधो नाहं क्षमा क्षम्यताम् यत्रा क्वापि निषद्य यादवकुलो तं सस्य कंसाद्विषा स्मारं स्मारमघं हरामि तदलं मन्ये किमन्येन मे. You want to read the translation? Oh, you want to read the translation? Yeah.
Yeah, I can read. O my prayers 3 times a day, all glory to you. O bathing, I offer my obeisances unto you. O demigods, O forefathers, please excuse me for my inability to offer you my respects. Now, wherever I sit, I can remember the great descendant of the Yadu dynasty, Krishna, the enemy of Kansa, and thereby I can free myself from all sinful bondage. I think this is sufficient for me. The Vedic rites and rituals are imperative for neophytes, comprehending all kinds of
Sorry, give me a second.
I'll
I don't
be,
know what happened.
can you, yeah, present the screen. Yeah.
Can you see it now?
Yes, yes, I can. Okay, so please excuse me for my inability to offer you my respects. Now, wherever I sit, I can remember the great descendant of Yadu dynasty Krishna, the enemy of Kansa, and therefore I can free myself from all sinful bondage. I think this is sufficient for me. The Vedic rites and rituals are imperative for neophytes, comprehending all kinds of prayers 3 times a day, taking a bath early in the morning, offering respects to the forefathers, etc. But when one is fully in Krishna consciousness and is engaged in his transcendental loving service, one becomes indifferent to all these regulative principles because he has already attained perfection. If one can reach the platform of understanding by service to the Supreme Lord Krishna, he has no longer to execute different types of penances and sacrifices as recommended in revealed scriptures. And similarly, if one has not understood that the purpose of the Vedas is to reach Krishna and simply engages in the rituals, etc., then he is uselessly wasting time in such engagements. Persons in Krishna consciousness transcend the limit of Sabda Brahma or the range of the Vedas and Upanishads.
Hare
Haribol.
Krishna. Thank you. Thank you so much for reading. Okay, so Krishna is encouraging Arjun to understand that how at different stages there are different recommendations. Like, for example, a child who is studying in the first grade may have to practice A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4. But then when the child is at eighth grade, the child doesn't have to practice those things. The child is already, he is grown up now, become a, you know, teenager. So recommendations will be different. Similarly, if the child goes to college, previously when he was in first grade, parents were telling him, training him, teaching him, hey, you have to do this, you have to study, you have to do homework, you have to, you know, clean yourself nicely. But then when he's in college, then he doesn't have to go through those. So similarly here it is mentioned that how great personalities who are meditating on the Supreme Lord, they are absorbed in thinking. For them, the rituals of the Vedas, they don't make, they don't have to follow them like rules and regulations. They have different way in which they conduct and engage in the service of the Lord, and they are completely absorbed in serving. So that way, they don't have to follow the rituals which a new person has to follow. So, this is what Krishna is mentioning to Arjun, that you have given lots of pros and cons of fighting and not fighting in the first chapter, but you have to advance from that level. Those are lower level of science which you are talking about. You have to advance to higher level of science, and he's taking him directly to the highest level of bhakti yoga. So that is what is the essence here. And this is a beautiful shloka which Prabhupada says Srila Madhvendra Puri has spoken. Now, this Madhvendra Puri is very, very exalted Acharya who came in the Madhvacharya Sampradaya. And he, this is almost close to 800 years ago when he appeared, and he had, there are a lot of pastimes about these great personalities. We don't have that much time to discuss, but the point which I was going to make is that Lord himself had approved of such great devotees, that these this particular personality, Srila Madhavendra Puri, is accepted as great devotee, and Krishna himself appeared in the lineage of Madhavendra Puri as Lord Chaitanya. So he was Lord Chaitanya accepted Ishwar Puri to be the disciple, to be the guru for Lord Chaitanya, and Ishwar Puri was a disciple of Madhvendra Puri. So Madhvendra Puri was basically the grand spiritual master, or spiritual master's spiritual master for Lord Chaitanya. So that Madhvendra Puri was the Guru of Lord Chaitanya. So like this, we see that these are great personalities who are talking about um, this concept here. Okay, anybody has any questions, comments, any points anybody would like to bring up? Okay, we'll go to the next shloka, 2.53. Please repeat. Shruti vi pratipannate, Shruti vi
पृथिवी प्रतिपन्ना ते
yada sthasyati nishala,
यदास्त्याश्चति निश्चला
samad samadhav achala buddhis,
समाधावचलावस्
tada yogam avapsasi.
तदा योगवाप्स्यसि.
Okay, who would like to read the translation, Papa? Ansh, can you read?
Can I read?
Yes.
Yes, Murli Prabhu, please.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
When your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas, when it remains fixed in the trance of self-realization, then you will have attained the divine consciousness, purport. To say that one is in samadhi is to say that one has fully realized Krishna consciousness. That is one in full samadhi has realized Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. The highest perfection of self-realization is to understand that one is eternally the servitor of Krishna, and that one's only business is to discharge one's duty in Krishna consciousness. A Krishna conscious person or unflinching devotee of the Lord should not be disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas, nor be engaged fruitive activities for promotion to the heavenly kingdom. In Krishna consciousness, one comes directly into communion with Krishna, and thus all direction from Krishna may be understood in that transcendental state. One is sure to achieve results by such activities and attain conclusive knowledge. One has only to carry out the orders of Krishna or his representative, the spiritual master. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for reading. Okay. So now Arjun is being encouraged to understand that in Vedas there is some incentives, some flowery language given, like Karma Kanda, we had discussed previously also. So he's saying that you don't have to get attracted to those flowery language of the Vedas, but you have to stay fixed in self realization. Then you will have attained the divine consciousness. And Prabhupada mentioning here is this is samadhi. Samadhi means complete absorption in the Lord and complete realization of these different aspects of the absolute truth. So Bhagwan or God or absolute truth, there are three realizations. We have discussed this before. Brahman realization means the realization that Lord is omnipresent. He's present everywhere. He's the controller. He has the power. He's controlling. And basically understanding that because he's everywhere and all of this, there is an impersonal aspect, Brahman, which means that he is not having a form like us. So that is one level. That is true. Brahman is true. And then Paramatma. Paramatma means is a localized aspect. So Brahman is all pervading, but Paramatma means localized. Where is he localized? Localized in the heart of every living entity, which means everywhere. and also localized in the heart of every single anu, any atom or molecule, the heart, that is the Lord, center. And then Bhagavan realization, which means, yes, Supreme Lord is there everywhere as impersonal. He's also localized in the heart of everyone, but also he is a personality with a spiritual form. He doesn't have a material form like us, that's true, but he has a spiritual form. And that spiritual form and that Lord actually reciprocate with our love, with our emotions. He has that loving reciprocation. So this is the three realization, and one who is in full Krishna consciousness, highest level, is able to realize these, understand these. So Prabhupada is explaining further, highest perfection is that one is eternally the servant of Krishna, and one's only business is to engage in Krishna consciousness, which means those activities which make us conscious of Krishna, which make us serve Krishna. So, Krishna conscious person, unflinching devotee of the Lord, should not be disturbed by flowery language of the Vedas. So, karma kanda or sakam karma yoga, those things should not distract Arjun. That is the point here, because they will give you good promotion to heavenly planets, good incentives, but you want to be completely connected with the Lord directly. You don't want going to heavenly planets or other material advancement and then miss out on this opportunity of connecting with the Lord eternally. So when one follows this, one is able to go to the highest level, and of course one is able to engage in direct service and be in Vaikuntha as well. Okay, so these are few thoughts from this shloka. Murli Prabhu, would you like to share any points here?
Yes, I understand.
Anything you want to add to what I just said?
That is uh, entirely submitting to Krishna consciousness, leaving all material influences. That's all I understand.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else would like to share anything or bring up any points or any questions? Okay, so if nothing is there, then we'll conclude for today.